London, a city most famous for its busy underground stations, jam-packed rush hour commuters, and overcrowded bus services. Its large public transport system being the cultural heart of the capital, no more the same. The global coronavirus pandemic has forever altered London's transport in more ways than we could have ever imagined. The once dirty and intimate transport system to replace by empty trains and buses, far and few passengers socially distanced from each other. Travel has now become a fundamental change to our daily lives, a pandemic that has led to millions of Londoners adapting to the new forms of travel. The city's traditional transport is now emerging into a new revolution in transport. Over the corona season, there has been an ultra high on bike sales, increasing by 63% between April and June alone, compared to the recent year. Before some would argue that cycling has become a cultural phenomenon here in London, I have come here to find out just why that is, how much of the corona pandemic has contributed to this. Is this really London's new form of transport? Or is this just a temporary transport due to COVID? I've decided to meet up with Donald, a regular cyclist, to find out his perspective and find out more about this.
I cycle every day. I cycle every day to work, and on the weekends I cycle for leisure.
Since you're a cyclist yourself, have you seen any new patterns?
Certainly more people have been cycling. Certainly in the first lockdown, there's a great deal of people on the roads. I see people who don't normally cycle, families cycling as well. So I think that contributed to it. I was seeing more people cycling and a lot of new people.
There has been a rise in increase of bikes being used. What do you think the main reason for this has been?
The main increase in bikes, bike riding has been increasing down the years as more and more people have been doing it. COVID has had a big impact on that it's helped more and more people to turn to cycling. People rather cycle than travel on main transport.
What has been your reason of starting to cycle?
Commuting purposes. I got fed up of being stuck in traffic jams or having to wait for buses or trains or being crowded with people. Now I get on a bike, I know exactly when I'm going to get home, and I just love it.
Donald is one of many. The popularity of cycling has surged exponentially. The multiple government policies and changes throughout this pandemic have led to the cycle boom. Government schemes like the Cycle to Work scheme have given employees the opportunity to purchase bikes tax-free through their employment. Coronavirus has really led the cultural cycling change in the city. Cyclists have taken full advantage of the Cycle to Work schemes, new cycle roads, discouragement of other transports. This has led to an astonishing 63% increase in bike sales and staggering 1.6 million Santander bike trips across this pandemic period. London Santander bikes, covering every corner of the city, have exploded cycling here. It has made cycling more of a family activity than ever before, with many families spending quality time cycling together. Many individual new cyclists joining the sport. There has been an overwhelming improvement of physical and mental health in Londoners just from cycling. Do you think this is London's new transport or just a temporary thing?
Well, at first it was temporary, but people did like using it, so did I, so hence why they still keep it. I believe it should be a good type of transport to use for the future as well.
Will you be using this transport for post-COVID?
Honestly, I will, because I've done it before in my past as a kid. I still do it right now, and I'm still planning to use it in the future. It's better than trains, that's what I'll say. It's very safe, I will say, because one, it's cheap. Secondly, not that many people use it, so COVID ain't touching it. So you can still use that and still be COVID-free from that as well.
However, e-bikes are the real key holder to the cycle revolution. The sales have increased rapidly with an astonishing 55,000 bikes sold annually, and ever-growing popularity amongst delivery drivers, commuters, and cycle carriers across the capital, many of them purchasing their own e-bikes to commute.
I use an electric bike with my friends as have joint problems, so it's actually easier than a push bike because going up steep hills is very hard for me and challenging because of physically a normal bike would restrain me, as with an electric bike this could help me to keep up with my friends and they don't have to wait around.
For me it's really a health benefit. It helps me to keep fit and active, and it consciously helps me in the sense that I feel that I'm helping the eco and the environment.
It's very convenient as it goes quicker than e-bike, and you can just be riding around town freely, just enjoying life. It's also very good for the environment, so I'd rather take an e-bike than a car or a bus.
Not just private e-bikes that are escalating. Public e-bikes are on the rise with Uber's Jump and the Lime bikes. These bikes, now extremely accessible to Londoners, can be found across the city simply or with the use of the Uber app. Once the bike is located, cyclists can just scan the QR code and unlock the bike. These clearly have been popular with an average 3,000 new riders per week and a 47% increase over the pandemic. Coronavirus with e-bikes, Santander bikes and even private bikes have revolutionised London as the capital of cycling.